All right, let's take a sip of our coffee, boys. Probably sounded weird. Well, good morning. Howdy and welcome in. It's time to rise and grind. Today we're going to be animating a sequence of mine in Blender. We're going to be listening to some good music on the side and enjoying the vibes. We have a good cue set up for drum and bass. Probably my favorite mix to listen to while I animate. Starting early today, gotta get at it while you can get at it, really. And so, here we are. Got some good sleep. I say it's gonna be a good day. We're gonna work on it. We have an event later tonight. There's a holiday walk close to me. It's like a holiday, Christmas parade. So we have that to look forward to at the end of the day. Until then, though, we'll just be stuck in front of the computer. We'll probably take a lunch break around 10 to 12 and, give ourselves some time to eat nutrients so we don't perish on stream. But yeah, feel free to grab yourself some coffee, water, sit, and enjoy the vibes. We'll just be going through Blender. I'll kind of share my process as we go about it. But mostly, I'll just be sitting here working. Let's go ahead and switch the screens, shall we? Guys can't be just looking at this chalkboard the whole time. Oh my gosh. Good morning. And howdy. Here on your left, we have the Blender screen that we're going to be working with. Yeah, it moves around and stuff, I think. Yeah, okay, good. Yep. You can't see it quite well, I know, but if you full screen your application, I think you have a good shot of seeing what I'm working on, I think. We're just gonna have a fun time. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, chat them up. I'm just gonna make sure that my stream sounds good, because, audio is probably the biggest thing, the biggest problem that most people face when it comes to streaming or videos. I have 100 subscribers again. I had 99 yesterday. I was a little sad. Well, that's nice to see. Alright, let's see what we got here. Check the stream. Videos. I have 100 subscribers again. I had 99 yesterday. I was a little sad. That's nice to see. Yeah, I think we're good. We are all set. Alright. We're just gonna go at it, and I'll try to go through my process as we go. I just realized my nose is a little... Give me one moment. Sorry, chat. Alright, that's definitely better. Alright, let's get back to it. Alright, so what we're working on right now is actually a space sequence. So essentially, this skit follows a group of people stuck in a room because they can't reopen a door. Reopen a door, mind you, not just open a door. They've opened the door, but they can't reopen it. That's the whole premise of this silly little skit I've made, and I've been working on it for a good few months. Actually, this has been my year-long project. I learned how to rig all the characters and texture them in Blender, and animate them in Blender. I come from college. Like, I studied 3D animation and graphics in college, but naturally they have used all the paid programs because they want you to learn everything so you can just pay money. You know, it's a big scheme, really. Big art, big 3D program, whatever, you know what I'm getting at. So teaching myself Blender over the course of a year and a half has been a task, to say the least. It's sunk a lot of my free time, but it's been time well spent, to say the least. So here I am, animating everything that I made personally in Blender. But yeah, about that door that can't be reopened, well, the solution, spoiler alert, is that they have to find their way into space. There's a way that happens, but, you know, they end up in space. And so, right now, we have our main character, Ty Guy, as I call him, traveling through space. So, yeah, we'll get at it. I'll kind of show you this set we're working with. So, we have 3 different compartments here. We have a tube, it's a weird little tube, a big background plane with some silhouetted object, and then like a almost sphere. And if we play through the animation, they are moving. You can't actually see that very well, but you see those like, you know, that little stuttering, or just like, yeah, you can kind of tell it's all moving, like a big tarp almost. And that's just so that I can get the shaders to react the way I want them to. Because if we turn on rendered view, this is actually what it looks like. Here on the left, that is. And we have a bunch of fun colors and vibes going on. But yeah, this is what space looks like in my vision. And it will be tweaked later in like post. But as of now, this is what it looks like. And we're going to go with it. But this little set that we have set up is 3 different parts of the whole. So essentially, we're going to start in the tube, and we have a big light. We have a light animated going through the tube, which kind of acts as like a space effect, essentially bringing our character into space. They are materializing, essentially. And then we're going to cut over here with our little guy out in space. There's nothing out here. But we're going to see his hands, and then as soon as we see his hands, the rest of the set will materialize, and we'll cut out to him in front of everything. But I needed just the hands, so without further ado, let's get started and stop yapping. What we need right now is another camera, which I think we have set up. Yes. Name this 5. I'm going to switch the camera this way. Yeah, very nice, very nice. You don't really need to move the character, but just so it's easy. Alright, so right now we're kind of giving a POV shot. That's our intention here. And we're actually just going to line the camera up right at the top of his tie. I think, let's go just, oh no, not the tie. I'm not trying to move the tie. Let's actually line it up here. We're gonna line it up with his nose instead. And instead of like right here where the eyes would typically be, I feel like I'm really congested or something. I don't know. Anywho. Typically POV shots are either kind of like around the neck range, torso. They never really align with the eyes if you're actually like doing it for yourself. Like if you sit down and try to make a POV shot, when you know, like a reload animation or something, usually the camera's sitting right around here. It's not really sitting here. So in order to snap things in Blender, we have to do something very strange. We have to move the Blender cursor to selected. And this is the cursor in Blender, this little like, it just gets smaller as I move, so, but it's that little red crosshair thing. Yeah, it gets a little bigger as I move away from it. Anyways, in order to like snap objects to certain vertices, which are the little dots between the lines here, we have to first move the cursor where we want it, and then we take the object or whatever we're working with and we move it to the cursor. So selection to cursor. It's a little strange. I don't. Maya's a bit simpler. It's literally a keybind. That's it. One keybind and a middle mouse click. I wish it was the same, but it's not. So an extra step or two, that's all right. Let's get into pose mode. And before we break everything, we're gonna iterate our work. And then I'm gonna give myself a comment here, begin POV. This is just so I know what I'm working with. I don't think that's the best way to comment. Maybe it is, I don't know. Okay, so right now he is set to FK. So I'm just gonna take his switch and switch him on essentially. There we go. You see his arms acting a little funky? That's because it's working. Anyways, we're gonna put his hands out front and probably increase the FOV. Oh yeah. Definitely need to increase the FOV. Oh, my nose is like, I don't know. It's like there's a weird crackle behind I've always had problems with my nose. It's just how it is. That's life. There we go. Let's try this. Typically, you wouldn't even have a head if you're doing a POV shot. Like the head is just sliced off. But people work around it. Let's go and get it. Oh, well, I mean, we're just posing it. We don't have keys right now. Cool. There it is. We're going to switch to shaded view just so we can kind of see what we're looking at here. Move his arms a little to the left and do something like that. So the blue and yellow like things behind his arms are our pole vectors. So if we move these, they will move the elbow accordingly. The yellow things are just switches so that it can switch to FK or IK. I do not have like a script set up so that if I were to switch to FK, it wouldn't automatically snap to the position of IK and vice versa. So that's the only thing that I don't really have set up on this rig. Everything else is pretty good though. It's been treating me nicely. Oh. Set this in. We're going to give these a little bit of an offset. There we go. I don't have anything set up for the thumb because I couldn't quite figure it out. I think I needed an expression I just wasn't aware of how to use because it's angled at a weird way that isn't quite in line with, like, say, the index finger, which is easy. It's just like, hey, I want you to move all of these controls on the x-axis to move it up and down. This is like kind of the y-axis and kind of the z-axis, so you know, it was a little stranger to work with. So I'm just relegated to working with this. I like having my wireframe on because it helps me understand like what's moving and what's not in this shot. If you're wondering why the geometry looks weird, why there's like a triangle here, it's not exactly a triangle, it's still, why am I getting that? What is that? This is why we save our work, people, just in case weird things happen. But yeah, that triangle is essentially so that the bone, or the mesh itself, deforms better. Although, it's still not the best, but from a distance, it looks alright. Move these in. Yeah, that's feeling pretty good. And this is just a POV shot. So basically what the motion we're looking for is like kind of like realizing that we're in existence now, and then suddenly like the background will start materializing and he'll go like a little shocked motion, and then we'll cut on that action directly to him. But it won't be him, it'll be the guy that we have next to the sphere, that little silhouette in the background, Jesus on the cross in his T-pose. I make a lot of Bible, like God, religious references in my stream, I've noticed. Not a religious man. Not that I hate it or anything, nothing like that, just never took to it. Anyways, let's go ahead and key our hands. If it would be nice to me. There we go. Hopefully that works. We're gonna turn on auto key because I just like working with it. It makes things a little faster. And we are gonna take the pole vectors and key those as well. Just hitting I to place those keyframes and making sure all the channels are selected. Okay. So now we're gonna push our time a little bit. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I want the hands to be on screen yet. So we're gonna take our hand placements, and we're just gonna move them to frame 10 for now. Cool. Move these out of frame. And we're gonna rotate them this way. If you don't key all the channels, then typically Blender likes to not key the rotations properly, which is a little strange. Alright, so yeah. Now we have them popping into frame. Trust me, it's gonna look better than this in a second. So realistically, we kind of want that to be more than like half a second. So we're gonna go to 14. We're working at 24 frames per second, by the way. Alright, and then we're just gonna start getting a little bit of extra motion in here. So, does that feel alright? Yeah. So now we're gonna overlap it. So his hand's gonna rotate a little bit, and we'll work with the fingers here in a minute. But right now I just wanna get the major motions of the arms and the hands moving into frame. Make sure all of this looks good. Oh, it doesn't look good. That's okay. All right. I'm gonna go back to, oh. What's that all about? I moved it into a solid. It's like, hold on. I can fix this. There we go. Just so I know exactly what forms are. Yeah. So this looks strange right now, and that's okay. If I move these pole vectors, I don't think that's gonna change much. Yeah, we could do that, I guess. I'm actually just going to copy this free keyframe back. This is kind of what a lot of animation is, kind of seeing what works and what doesn't. Trial and error, pretty much. Something is strange though. Let's. Yeah, that already feels like just sometimes you just need to get directly to the motion and then you can arrange. Now everything kind of moves like on a curve. So you never want anything to just kind of go straight in. Everything's moving on a bell curve, as it were. So we're gonna arc everything, just about. when you move, you don't move straight. You move all around. You move on all axes, essentially. See, we're already feeling a little better there in that left arm. I don't like that the arm isn't exactly in line with the edge of the screen, but we're gonna make it work. And then for you, I'm gonna take you out and see what we can do. Maybe we shouldn't have messed with you. It's a little strange. That's okay. We're getting somewhere. I know this doesn't look good right now, but that's okay. We're in kind of a blockout phase. We're just trying to get these major motions in and make them a little smooth, so we can move the rest of what's going on here. Okay. I like moving about 4 frames ahead, and then placing another keyframe. Kind of keeps me in the headspace of like exactly what motion we're working with. I don't want it to be too fast, but I definitely don't want it to be too slow. So right now this is just going to be very minor motion. It looks very stiff because it also, we aren't moving. We're getting somewhere, I think. Guess I don't often animate arms in like a POV state. As you can probably tell. I really want the arms to kind of go in and then from inwards outwards. That's kind of what we're looking for. And realistically, I should probably be making a quick reference video for this. But I kind of wanted to test myself. And obviously, yeah. It needs some work. That's alright though. And I just want to make sure all of this lines up. Good. Alright. I'm actually just going to cap this off at 48, so that's 2 seconds of animation. Okay. And we're just adding a little bit of overlapping motion, a little bit of movement, outwards, upwards, to the side, and then we'll get the fingers going. As long as all of this looks okay. It's actually kind of the motion we're looking for. It's just a little too, like, let's do this, because I think we're having a hard time understanding. We are going to go open up our graph editor so we can understand what exactly is going on here. And what we're looking for is that bell curve, pretty much, most of the time. If anything looks like too steep, too stark of a contrast, we're just going to go ahead and delete it. You want things to be smooth. After a little bit of work, this should be pretty good. This is usually something I will touch last, and definitely not close to the beginning of what I'm working on. But I'm having trouble working with the motion. There's just something off about it. Cool, I think we're heading somewhere. I'm really glad no one is watching right now, not gonna lie. Alright. And just so we have some overlapping motion, this is going to go a little bit further than I would traditionally expect. And then they're both going to go down, a little out. And I'd really like them to just go a hair to the left. And then we're going to bring that right back in. Get somewhere. Wish. Start focusing on just getting the right kind of motion I want. That way, I can move to the fingers. It's still a little weird, obviously. I think we need to move these keyframes back now. Cool. So we're just gonna tilt this one up just a hair. Something like that. All right. I know it looks really bad right now, but that's okay, I promise ya. Let's get those fingers moving. It'll look a lot better once we have those fingers moving. So, something like this. And we're gonna move the thumb up. And what we really are looking for here in just a second is some overlapping motion. So we don't want these fingers to all move in tandem. That would be silly and bad. That's just not how fingers work, you know? So, we're gonna take our index finger and we're gonna push it back. 1, 2, 3, 4 frames. We're gonna leave the middle finger where it's at. Take these two, push them. 1, 2, 3, 4 frames ahead with the pinky, just 2 more frames after that. Suddenly, we have some overlapping motion. It's not a lot, but that's okay. Because right here is kind of where we want the fingers to uncurl. And we're just going to do the same thing practically. Perfect. Might actually happen a little too slow. Just going to push it to 46. All right. Index, we're going to push back 4 frames to 60. Middle's going to stay. We're going to push this up to 68. And the pinky to 70. And right now, still not great, but we are getting some movement. We're getting some flow. See, like, the way this hand stops makes the fingers look like they are starting here instead of actually already going. It's just the movement is working against the camera. So, I'm gonna kind of, there we are. Now it kind of feels like he's floating almost, which is good. That's kind of what we want. We're gonna kind of bring this down though. And then we're gonna shift this up a little. And then you're gonna round out this arc. And now we have a little arc. See, it's all coming together. Just slowly but surely. That's animation for you. Trial and error, and eventually you're there. We're gonna move our thumb again. Keep that guy moving. And now that hand movement feels a little sudden, but also I kind of want him to be like realizing that he's existing again. So, maybe it doesn't need to happen this fast, but pretty much the same motion. Just gonna move these out. Alright, and now I kind of want to bring the fingers back in, give him a little curling motion. He's testing out his movement capabilities, essentially. Make sure those fingers work. I'm about to sneeze, but that's alright. That's a little too fast. The overlapping motion the second time isn't nearly as necessary. It actually feels a little strange. Perfect, perfect. And it looks even stranger because we just don't have any motion for the major hand yet. Cool. Bring this in just a little bit more. See how this looks. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. The fingers are still a little odd. That's okay, we're getting somewhere. Alrighty. It would also help if the thumb was moving a little more. The hands are a little odd, I will give you that. I think it just comes down to the weight painting on them. Maybe not the best that I've done, I will say. But I think if it gets the idea across, I'm not too terribly stressed about it. We'll be okay. But before they come in, they should go out just a hair more, I'd say. And then honestly, should come out a bit more like this. Go back to the solid view. The thumb should really be floating out here. Shouldn't be standing still, that's for sure. I'm not worried about like super fine polish at the moment, but we do kind of want something to look good before we move on. Just something. Just something. And this is where I'm going to start individually tweaking things, I guess, to make it look right. 136. We are getting somewhere. So essentially, what's going on right now is he's kind of looking at his hands, realizing he's like that. I might actually add some head motion to the camera, but that'll be later. That'll be the last step. And then essentially, what he's gonna do, he's gonna do this, turn his fingers, start doing something like that, and then as he's like looking, because we'll add that motion last, then we'll kind of like start materializing like the set, and he'll be like, whoa, and then he'll pull his hands back, but with the head movement, I think it'll all look really fine, fine and good. So we'll keep going. Always like adding overlapping motion. I don't like things to just sit, so like his fingers should be settling just a little bit. So we'll just do this, and we'll even do some of the same, but only by a little bit. Yeah. Alright, and before we shift, before we turn them 180, we're just going to go ahead and work on the other hand. We treated the left hand with a lot of love. Let's give the right hand some love. Make sure it looks moderately okay, though. We're basically going to copy the motion almost, and we'll go from there. Start with the right fingers. I think the right hand rotates a little too slow. Delete this keyframe, see what that does. And we're going to delete this keyframe as well. Yeah. I love this drum and bass. Good artist. Still the same track? It is not. I didn't think so. Same artist, different album. My coffee's getting cold here. Oh no. Actually, we're going to bring those in a little more and then out here. Curl these and out more. Alright. The subtle motion is a little too subtle now. I hope everyone's excited for their Friday. Good day, right before the weekend. I don't know if you guys, you know, as we grow older, naturally the Friday turns more into a Wednesday for some. Or a Thursday, rather. You know, kind of depends. But I hope your Friday is good nonetheless. Alright, I like the motion as it comes out. So really all we need to do is tweak these things. Index. Let's go ahead and 1, 2. I think we're good. Okay, good. Middle's gonna stay. And we're gonna push these out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the pinky can go 2 more. Perfect. You know, just that little bit of overlapping motion gives it a lot of character. Ooh. Don't forget to, if you're ever gonna like zoom in from your camera, don't forget to turn off the 3D cursor and camera to view. To cursor. And push these frames just 2 out. And then just do the same overlapping motion we've been doing. Should be on 62. Oh, that's good. Pinky 2 more. Come on. And now we're back to it looking weird because the hand doesn't move. We kind of want the hand, we don't exactly want the hand to mirror the motion, but we do kind of want it to, you know, complement each other, I guess. So, since that comes in, we're going to go back out just a hair. Not by much. No, that's very strange. think it's this keyframe here now. Because I do want it to end here, but it should be a bit smoother. A bit more. I'm gonna actually push this to 80. Yeah, I think that'll help. But we need to move you. And then we need to rotate you. Get over here. There you go. It does feel a bit smoother. It's still a little awkward though, for sure. Ooh. Oh yeah, the right hand's like it just drops. I don't like that. Like they both drop a little, but this one just drops a little better. I bet if we were to take a look, yep, we have 3 keyframes, and this one just has 2. Because this one is actually arching, and this one is just going straight down. Try to align it a little bit. If I was smart, I would have just set all these keyframes at the same time. But I'm only kind of smart sometimes. Oof. Stinky. Curl in just a bit more. I think the fingers need to, yeah. See, they start curling in here. It's not exactly what I want to happen now, is it? I want them to fully extend, actually. And then wait a second before this begins. I'm just gonna move all of those. See, now it's kind of moving in tandem. I know I said I wanted them to complement each other, and they kind of do, but they also kind of don't. Once we get the head moving around, I think it'll make a lot more sense, though. Because the camera will be kind of moving in between them, and that'll just feel a lot better. This one feels a bit more robotic now. Because I think it comes in and it doesn't like give itself time to rest. So we need a little bit more overlap here, and we're going to push these frames instead a little bit further. About 4 frames. And we're actually going to... There. Now it feels like it's like bouncing. That's not good. That's not what we're after. We're actually going to push all of these frames 2 more. That's already feeling a little better. All right. I've actually had a little bit too much coffee and water, so I will be right back. Don't forget to grab yourself some water, take a break if you need it, and I will be right back. Whoa, how do we get back to the porch? Oh yeah. Like that. Alright, we have returned. Let's get back to the art screen. Had myself a quick apple. So I felt like I needed it. Drink enough coffee and then you just start getting the jitters. Just gotta eat something, really. Only had a cup and a half, but obviously hadn't eaten much. I say, let's get back to it. Alright. So we're feeling pretty good about what's happening here. We are finally getting the motion we're looking for. Pretty much kind of wanted to mirror the motion on the left here. So we're gonna pull these in, make sure everything looks right. See, too fast. Yeah, that's why we start there. We're actually gonna push it just 2 more frames. That way when we do this and kind of do overlapping motion, we're not worrying too much. 8. And the pinky will come out here to 40. And that looks a little strange, actually. So we're actually going to shift you up. It's kind of what I'm looking for. Maybe the 4 frames is a little much here. Also, when they extend all the way out, they kind of don't sit there for as long as I would like. Let's just give it a little 4 extra frames, a little overlap. Push these frames too, to account for that. I mean, you want it to be the same, but just a little bit more. Okay. Make sure I'm not getting important stuff. Good. Awesome. And since this is coming in, we're going to bring the hand in as well. Looking at frame 148. And then kind of bring this down and over. Radical. And we are there, pretty much. Ooh. I think a little bit of snot just came into my nose. Beautiful. Grade A streamer. Grade A content creator. Never uploads, and when he starts streaming his process, he's blowing snot everywhere. Ooh, what a stinker. Alright. So right now we're gonna work on the thumb. Make that look a little better so that he can kind of curl his fist. And right now I just kind of want this to go out, and this will also go out, but a little bit later. There. Just get this thumb moving is all. And just a little bit at a time. Nothing like, no major motions. Alright. And I guess we can take all of this motion a little bit back. Because the thumb on the left is going to close here. And I kind of wanted to do the same thing, obviously. And this... yeah, okay, good. So it kind of closes right on 122. We're just going to go ahead and close the thumb here and rearrange the keyframes in a second. There we are. And now it's going to look super strange. Yes, sir. That's alright. We do kind of want it to match up. So actually, I'm just going to push other keyframes around. Take this to 70. It's these keyframes here. We're going to move to 100. And we kind of ideally want them to be doing the same thing. So maybe we actually just push these. Cool. Almost doing the same thing. Off by a hair. Cool. And we actually want the hands, or I guess the fists, to come in and kind of like start turning. Something like this. And honestly, that motion should already be happening here. Push this and that. Yeah, we're getting something. As you can see, the thumb is actually like phasing through our mesh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to settle that thumb problem by declaring a thumb ward. Alright, that already looks better. Basically going to do the same thing over here. We're just going to settle the thumb. That way it doesn't just, you know, move there and then stay there while everything else moves. See, while everything else moves, so does the thumb, whether you like it or not. Also going to throw some settle on our main fingers. Bring them in a little, nothing too crazy. I might settle these guys a little more. There we go. And just because I like living, living motion, we'll bring them out again. And that slight movement just keeps our animation alive. The slightest movements. That's all it takes. Subtlety is key. And don't like how that's going. I kind of want this to mirror each other, so this actually should be moving more like this to the right. Maybe a little bit to the left. Yeah. He's getting ready to brawl. Although I don't think you should put your thumb there if you're looking to brawl. It's more like that. He's just feeling himself. He's existing. Alright. And this is what we've done in about an hour's time. A little over an hour, maybe. Still some weirdness going on here, obviously. this goes up, and then it immediately cuts diagonally, almost like a knife, without any... Let's see if that helps. That helps a little, actually. Perfect. Alright, so now that we've gotten the motion we're looking for, we're actually just going to turn the hands from here to about here. So from frame 116, we're going to be like, kind of like this. So what I like to do here is cue all the frames, all channels, so it doesn't get super confused. And then by frame, like, what, 74? Test. Just test this out real quick. Break the hands. I want them to be facing outwards. And yes, it looks weird and broken right now, but that's okay. Give it a second. Cool. I think we're getting somewhere. Perfect. I think, yeah, a lot of it stems from the elbows, so key the elbows here on frame 140 and bring them up so we are not twisting his hands like balloons.